This is Top's Finest Mega. Pick your team number 5 full case. You gotta thank Giant Golfer for the push on this one, guys. He went all in. He's going all in. But honestly, I mean, we're priced cheaper than this entire case anyway. So, we're actually priced cheaper. You couldn't go to Walmart or Target and buy 20 boxes cheaper than what I have it in the store. And we have bounties. And you're getting it from a sealed case. So you're getting like a triple premium almost. Almost. You're getting a ton of premium from a factory sealed case format. Unpicked through and untouched. Potentials for case hits. Potentials for big autographs. Untouched. Goodness. Good luck, Giant. So, Giant, I won't lie to you. I mean, this is definitely a friendly point of view because I know you only recently made an account a few days ago. So, you know, just to kind of keep you in the loop and everything like that, our shipping team and our compliance team, you know, they got you all taken care of on the back end already. I know I already talked to you about like our shipping times and everything like that. So again, from that perspective, me and you are good. Hopefully you're legit. I'm assuming you are. You've been nothing but very cool in my chats. So I just hope you are a legit person. You'd be surprised how many people we have to deal with. But I will say this, so long as you're legit, you have no problems. Everything is fully recorded on our end. So let's do it, buddy. Good luck. All right, cool. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Thankfully, we have a good, you know, cyber security, blah, 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 blah. All the things that I don't know much about. Oh, geez. Yes. So let's do it. I appreciate you not like freaking out when I say those kinds of things. We've had some, you know, we've had some internationals out there. We've had some guys that come in, they buy a lot, and then they try to scam it. Thankfully, we have a great cybersecurity team. And it's got like, you know, all the IP addresses and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. All the things I don't know jack squat about. That's why I'm not playing the big bucks. Hey, my cosmic bananas tickets came in. Yay. I better have good seats. Section 118, seat 1. Oh, that doesn't sound that great. Section 118, that's not even behind the plate. That's probably third base line. I don't want to be third base line. No, really, yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. Section 118. Couldn't even get me by the park. Couldn't even get me behind the plate. Hey Siri, where is section 118 in Las Vegas ballpark?
Here it is on the map.
Oh my goodness. Hey Siri, are you able to pull up a stadium seat map for the Las Vegas ballpark? Wow, Siri sucks. Somebody tell me where the section 118 is in the Las Vegas ballpark before it drives me nuts. Yeah, me too. Me too. I was trying to get these whatever. Where the chili peppers? Or no, we're not the chili peppers. What are we? Now that I'm touching my, or the cosmic. Wait. Yeah, we're the chili peppers. Oh my God, we're on the third base line. Jeez. I had to buy my. I literally had to buy my tickets like 1 year ago. It was crazy. I had to enter in the drawing, and then the drawing makes you buy it like a year in advance. And I'm sure I could have. I'm sure I didn't have to, but you know, the tickets are like $40. So I was like, ah, that's cool. The problem is I bought 5 tickets, so. So I'm turning 37. I got into sports cards because, believe it or not, my uncle actually had a automotive parts store. It was a CarQuest at the time, and he was an independent owner, and he had like a portion of his shop, and he had a lot of junk wax at the time. So a lot of like the Impel Marvels with the holographics, lots of Fleer, Top Stadium Clubs, Skybox, all like that. That was my introduction. I was born in '89, so a lot of the Fleer rack packs, the '93 rack packs, the yellow wrappers there. Um, so we had quite a bit of those, quite a bit. Um, Shaquille O'Neal, guys like that, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. Those are kind of like my introduction. Obviously Michael Jordan, but those are kind of the introductions. And to go along with that, video games started becoming prevalent in my life. So games like NBA Jam, Baseball Tonight, ESPN Baseball Tonight, all those kinds of games started introducing me to guys like Frank Thomas, Rafael Palmeiro, Mark McGuire, Canseco, Barry Bonds. So it kind of that's what introduced me to sports in general, cards in general. I was a big Marvel fan from a kid, so it was always nice to see like Jim Lee's art style for the Marvel 1990s X-Men, the animated series shows. Typical kid stuff. Spawn, Seth MacFarlane. As I got a little bit older and a little bit more mature, a lot of the Asians in Hawaii, they introduced me to Pokemon. So I learned the itch from Pokemon. I went to my first collector show because of Pokemon. So I was one of those kids that had a million of the Charizard first editions. I probably had in my arsenal at least 4 of each. 4 Charizard first editions, multiple Venusaurs, Blastoises, Genghis Khans, Chauncey's, all those Snorlaxes. And that's what really got me into like buying packs. At the time I used to buy packs because I couldn't afford boxes. But, once a week, once every other week, my uncle would take me there. It used to be $4.95 a pack of first edition Pokemon. So I would get, $20 worth of packs, 4 packs. Then I kind of phased away from it as I got older. Because obviously I didn't have money for cards back then. But I still have like a lot of my binders from when I was a kid myself. So I got back into the hobby probably about 2014-15 time. But sports cards specifically, I dabbled in up until like 17, 18. That's when I started like buying a little bit more. But I started getting into video games, old school nostalgic video games. I started building my collection and stuff like that from that. So a lot of the Nintendo games, I was huge into collecting those. My house was literally littered with Nintendo video games. And you know what? It's because of that I flipped so much games. I literally was able to put a down payment on my house. Here in Vegas, I was able to move. All like that. So it was pretty nice. Alright. Remind me after this break and I'll show you a little bit afterwards. But yeah, I started after everything was kind of set in after everything was kind of said and done, I was more into like memorabilia. Baseball was always my strongest sport, so memorabilia was always kind of like my thing. I used to buy like buying the autographed baseballs, from TriStar, all like that. I used to buy a little bit like NFL mini helmets because I enjoyed the memorabilia portion back then too. A little bit more than sports cards because it's nicer to display, easier to display than sports cards, you know. Seeger. And then I started buying into more sports cards. Started getting into like Donovan Mitchell 2017 year, 18 year. I bought a lot of fast break products because they were cheap at the time, you know. Sports cards wax wasn't anywhere near as expensive as they are today. But I was still buying like a lot of the fast break items, which is kind of like, you know, you're kind of like almost like your retail items. Then I started selling a lot of singles. Nice JJ, very nice on your kill on the aqua. I started to buy more sports cards. I started to join breaks. I was attending more of the local card shows that was put on. I started going to more trade nights, and I realized, especially in Hawaii, the card community in Hawaii is really good. Really cool people. So I was stoked for that. And then it got so crazy that I ended up making my own breaking company. So we called it Hammer Breaks. So if you see this pink mat right over here where my hand is, this was my old this was my version 2 mat, if you will, because my old mats. So I ended up breaking for myself for a while. And then when the market kind of took a big turn in 2021, 22, 21, I took an ass beating, you know, over leverage, just like a lot of people. And I couldn't handle that leverage. I couldn't handle being over leveraged. So I ended up going down, you know, almost $200,000, something like that. And I'm still fighting my way out of it, still to this day. That's why I don't buy into as much breaks. But now also I also have my hey, Blaylock for the fish on our first base auto. It's also why like I do a lot of my gambling content on YouTube. It's kind of my hope is that my hope is that it becomes you know, kind of that secondary source of solid income. It's my hope. And thankfully I met the Blez team because I did a couple of good deals with them and stuff. And I'm a very fair businessman. Like, I value long-term relationships, and thank God I did that because when the opportunity came to join the Blez team, backer, ooh, nice Garcia auto. Pirates have been hot. Browser, let's go. Nice hit. Obviously, we wanted a Connor again, but we'll take that too. Nice McConaughey to 150. Are we going back-to-back hot cases? We'll see. Let's see if we can't get back-to-back on some nice cases. Nice forces. Now we see 2 of them. It's Yoshinobu for the Dodgers. See 2 in back-to-back cases. Nice. We hit Baby Ruth on the last one. That a good sign for some more red, maybe? Maybe a super. Would be awesome. Nice. The Miz to 250. Let's go. Chase Burns. And Lubob. But yeah, thankfully, because I did a lot of good deals with backer them here at the Blez team. when the opportunity came to join this team, um, he contacted me, and the rest was history. 4 years later, I'm still here breaking cards. I'm one of the last Mohegans from Hawaii to still be breaking cards, which to me, that's an accomplishment in itself. A lot of those pop-up companies, unfortunately, a lot of the pop-up companies during the COVID boom, a lot of guys popped up. Everybody that was anybody was getting into breaking, all like that. And I'm proud to say that after all these years, I'm still here. I'm very proud of my commitment and my longevity. And I hope to be here for another, honestly, another 5 to 10 years. Actually, I lied. Maybe another 4 years. Let's say 4 years. I'd love to continue staying in this space for sure, but I'd like to participate in the next evolution of collecting, whatever that might be. And if it's still breaking, so be it. Francisco Lindor on the Fuchsia Mini Diamonds. Kyle Teo on the Mini Diamonds. So do you collect any teams, or is there any specific players that you like, specific sports? We'd love to get to know you here as well. Nice Wyatt Langford. Our first upside down is Kobe Thomas. I don't think we've ever had an upside down card yet in this product. There's a Schlittler for you on the Mini Diamonds. Absolutely. For me to not say that there's not a downturn at some point is absolutely false information. I don't think it's anytime soon, though, if you want me to be honest with you. I think with the Fanatics takeover of basketball products, now things are normalizing again, if you will. Because for the past year, the sports card space was a little confused because you had, Mason Miller on the blue. You had a lot of like uncertainties in the card market as well as in the products that we have. So what I'm saying is, for example, our 2025 football class, you have both Topps Chrome rookies and you also have Prism rookies from Panini. True Green of Jose Ramirez to 99. So it's one of those things in the market where it's like, okay, what's going to be worth more? Prism, Topps Chrome. Is their Prism autograph going to be worth more? Is their Topps Chrome autograph going to be worth more? Is it going to be worth the same? There was just a lot of confusion, I feel like, in the hobby. What's up, Tempe? Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't know about the watered down parallels, because the parallels, no matter what, since they're numbered, they will still be considered a shorter print. But there is definitely going to be other parallels long term. Nice Murakami, rare. There's going to be certain parallels, Yelich Blue, that's going to always outperform other parallels. I don't think the downturn in the hobby, I don't think we're going to have any kind of correction. Hey, there you go, Escara for the Yankees, for Giants. Nice, Garrett Cole to 250, the former Pirate ace. If you want me to be honest with you, if there is any kind of downturn, you won't feel it or see it until probably at least, I would personally say, another year and a half. That's my personal I agree that there's a lot of certain parallels, but there's gonna always be, again, I'm gonna default to the true parallels, right? The true parallels will always perform better in general. And if you get again, if you get a geometric black, a cosmic black, a diamond black of your top names, let's say it's Victor Wembanyama, let's say it's Jacob Mizorowski, let's say it's Murakami, Shohei Otani, it's still gonna perform. Speaking of, there's Kevin Alcantara to 199. But if it's numbered to 10, it doesn't matter. If it's numbered to 399, okay, different story. It definitely matters. If it's numbered to 99, sure, maybe like a 15% cost difference, 10% cost difference, but it ain't going to be as dramatic as most would think. Again, you could be right, I could be wrong, I could be totally right, you could be totally wrong. I'm forecasting here. I don't think, like, if we're talking about like the downturn of sports cards, alternative investments in general is a hot topic, right? People found Bitcoin early. I think sports cards, I think this collecting alternative asset class, I think you just started touching it come 1920, pre-COVID. And yes, the correction happened, a year and a half later after that whole COVID boom. It started happening for sure. I again, Tempe, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I agree. I'm not a fan of a million parallels. I'm not a fan of that. But but on the flip side, I will say this, and this is the part you can agree, you can disagree with me. This is just my opinion, not a hot take. I think this is a sharp take, actually. If card companies have to, and the keyword here is have to, if they have to input more parallels to provide a bigger supply to card shops across the USA, to breakers across the USA, and again, internationally, even for that matter, you need the expanded checklist to produce, let's say 1,000 more cases, 500 more cases of products, whatever it might be. I'm not against it. Where I start to become against a lot of things is like, for example, if a product like Flawless or Dynasty Baseball, if we start expanding sets like that, okay, we got problems. Sets like Tops, Flagship, things like that, they've always had a ton of parallels in general. Products like Prism, yeah, I mean, over the last 10 years, we've probably tripled the Prism parallels. No joke, we probably have like triple the amount of Prism parallels. But people will always love the superfractors. People will always love the gold vinyls, the nebulas, the true blacks. So all of those true colors, they are recession proof. Dansby. But yeah, I mean, going back to the core question, yeah, for sure. Just like any market, there's gonna be a downturn. Nice green of Skeens. There's gonna be a downturn. The question is when. I don't think anytime soon, if you want me to be honest with you. Got a good baseball class, good draft class, good rookie class. You have a great basketball class. You got Fanatics taking over. You got the first year finest basketball in how long? You got the first year Topps Chrome basketball in how long? Yesevich. So I think another Escaro autograph. Interesting. Our first duplicate. First duplicate auto that we've had. Okay. Yellow of Cal Riley, the big dumper. I think if we don't continuously get innovative with the product releases and get on a better product schedule, manage a better product price point. I think if we fail to do that in the next year, I think definitely you could see a pullback for sure. Bogarts. Because when you got a box of, let's say again, it's tough, because I'm on this side, Tempe. I understand. I do. Yeah, I understand that. I get it. I do understand that, and I understand where that comment comes from, because that's a comment that's been said in the past 10 years, guaranteed. Oh, breakers ruin the hobby, and vice versa, like that. That's not a bad take. I mean, that's a true take. That's probably a very true take. You're right. But it's also because of breakers that the hobby doesn't die out neither. Not like the 90s where everybody just left. Here we are 6 years, 5 years, 6 years past COVID. And sports cards and the market has a much higher floor. Of course, it has a much higher entry price point, yes. Cafe is true gold. I'm not sitting here denying that neither. Hence where your comment comes from, right? Like half of it's on breakers, half of it. Breakers are great for the hobby. I will say that in general. Breakers make the price points affordable for those that can't buy in to single hobby boxes for those that can't.
Hey, Roasted.
I mean, that's always gonna happen. No offense. That's always in anything. We can argue that same point on Pokemon. You can argue the same point on Labubus, on Beanie Babies. Like, history repeats itself. But hear me out. Hear me out. I like this good, and I'm not mad. I love good conversation. I love it. I love that. Here's my take. Agree or disagree with me.
Hello.
Again. Yellow of De Los Santos. I don't think breakers made it intentionally expensive. If you want me to be honest with you. But hear me out. I'm not disagreeing with that take 100%. Trust me. I think there's definitely a point in it.
Mike has a point.
Well, breakers marketed the products. That's what happened, right? We marketed it. We told the average consumer, hey guys, buy sports cards. You could turn $20 into $1,000 card by hitting a Zion, by hitting a jaw. All you got to do is send it to a PSA grading and get a PSA 10, and this $20 is now worth $1,000. Right? Like, that happened. That definitely happened, right? And at the same time, sports card companies, they have a chance for money grab. And I'm not talking about Fanatics. I'm not talking about anybody in specific. 5 to 6 autos per case, Andy. I'm not blaming Fanatics. I'm not blaming Panini. I'm not blaming anybody. But everybody knows when that Zion hype hit, everybody was learning to get back in sports cards. Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, it just, all of the marketing hit one time. Correct. Debo, that's a great point too. Yeah. Like, the marketing got better. Everybody started learning. Like, oh shit, there's an opportunity. Everybody and their mothers, oh, I used to collect sports cards. I can do this. My buddy knows this person. Boom. That's what happened. And now sports card companies, I don't care who you are, Leaf, doesn't matter what company you are, everybody kind of knows, they're not going to let, hey, Wembenyama's the next hottest thing since sliced bread. They're not dumb. They're not going to sell a box of sports cards for $100 when they know many people would spend $1,500. You know what I'm saying? To that point, that's where breakers actually kind of save it. Because now you get these stories. I'm a part of the stories myself. Right? Giannis Antetokounmpo, 1-of-1 logo man. Someone hit for $20. Like, I was a part of that story. You know, and everybody here has a fair shot at that too. So, but you're right. Again, to a certain degree, you're absolutely right. More people getting in, more marketing. There's gonna come a time where the average consumer like myself just truly cannot. I mean, you're seeing it right now. I haven't bought a box of wax that's not retail in a while. Because truthfully, it's hard. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tempe. Pretty house. So, in my opinion, yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you're seeing that right now. And that's what's driving up the cost of singles. For example, I cannot buy a box of Dynasty Baseball, right? I can't buy a box of Dynasty. That's a cool George Foster to 75 Reds. And he just left us, Charles Anderson. Abbott. Like I can't afford whatever it is, whatever a box of Dynasty costs nowadays. What does a box of Dynasty cost? $4,000? $3,000? I can't afford a box of Dynasty at $3,000. But now what I can do is I can go to shows and hopefully buy someone like a Ken Griffey Jr. and maybe I'll be able to find one for $2,500. And that's what a lot of people are trying to do right now in the hobby, and that's what's keeping up the single prices. Which in turn will also keep up the wax prices because now people are trying to buy their singles. It's going to hit an inflection point. Is that the word I'm looking for here? Inflection? I know I'm rambling, but mind you, I'm ripping cards and trying to collect my thoughts at the same time here. I don't disagree with that. And to that degree, I think there's just going to have to be a reset on like products. Oh, I haven't noticed. That's no problem. I understand that, Tempe. That's understandable, bro. PCA. I still like the prospects. I still like the chase. I still love all of that. I still love buying the vets. I love seeing the veterans and like the newer products and vice versa. Well, I've reduced my collection, you know, and that's why I tell everybody, buy what you enjoy and you'll never go wrong. Buy what makes you happy, you'll never go wrong. Larry Bird and the old school makes me happy. Ken Griffey makes me happy. Frank Thomas, you know, Jose Canseco's, McGuire's, Utley's, Ryan Howard's, Victorino's, Roy Holiday's, you name it. Like, makes me happy. I don't care. It can be $100. Yeah. And that's all it should be. That's a disgusting Connor Griffin gold on the rare. That's sick. That's a sick gold. Really nice. Yeah, but I remember you were talking about eBaying and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. Trust me, there's a lot of cards I wish I still had till this day. Trust me, I wish I didn't unload them.
Rodman.
All my Rodmans. I say that story all the time.
No.
Yep, don't remind me. Mrs. Hammond, she's been hearing this story for the past 5 years now. My Rodmans, my Lucas. Well, Pokemon, I don't know. So hear me out on this. The reason why Pokemon got hot, right? Again, it's cheaper than sports cards. Charizard isn't going to blow out his ACL. Right? Not the craziest case, but a cool case. Yes. Absolutely. And you know, Debo, I've been saying that for years. I know you've been breaking with me particularly for years. I've said it for years. Like, if I find a card is cool, I don't care if it's a $5 card, a $50 card, a $500 card. And every so often, the $1,000 card you'll see me buy or trade up to. You'll see me do those things, yes. But yeah, all markets are going to correct itself. The fact of the matter, though, Tempe, is, and this is a fact. I'm not even trying to, like, I'm not sitting here because I'm on Blez's chair, because I'm a breaker, because I'm trying to pump you guys up. Because you guys are smart enough. You guys can make your own decisions for yourself. But I will tell you this. Even when the market, quote-unquote, corrects itself, the floor is still going to be significantly higher than what it was 2 years ago, 4 years ago, and 6 years ago. I guarantee you. It will be significantly higher. Just like stocks, just like anything else, the floor will be significantly higher than what it was. And again, we've already been through about 2.5 market corrections since COVID. And the floor is still there. The floor is still high. You've seen a rise in vintage sports cards, especially like that. The big vintage sports cards. Obviously, the right rookies, right? The Luka Doncic. Yeah, it's very much like stocks, exactly. When the correction happens, we'll be in a correction. And that's when people like me, I'm sorry, I'm going to tell all of you guys this right now. When the market corrects, you will see people like me buy heavy. I will start to buy heavy when the market corrects itself. That is when that's my opportunity to load up. I'm not even lying. Ask anybody in here. Anybody that's here, they love a correction because they just start buying. It's like cards went on sale. And if you buy appropriately and you don't over leverage yourself, and you honestly, it depends. That's a great question, but it depends. The correct answer to that is the same people that's still buying cards now. There's always going to be a need for repackers. There's always going to be a need for people that want to take their $20, $100 stabs to get a $1,000 card, a $10,000 card. You're always going to have the people that wants the game of chance. Without me saying the G word. Yes, exactly my point, Debo. Yes. But you're not wrong. Like, Tempe, I understand where your concerns come from, Tempe. Like, it makes, what you're saying is beyond perfect sense. All right, and Giant, in the future, Giant, you close that break. I don't know how great I did for you. It wasn't a crazy good case. But in the future, if you want a couple dollars off, remind me, and I'll take care of you on something in the future, brother. Thank you for pushing that breakthrough for us. No, for sure. Great conversation. Great conversation. I love it. All right, I'm giving you guys a $49 baseball pack. Good luck, guys. If anybody here wants to try their own chance at Blez Online, use the code HAMA and save 20% off your first purchase of any of these packs, guys. Good luck. Oh, it's an SGC Austin Riley rookie. Interesting. One of the rare times you'll see SGC cards in our packs. It's $36. Somebody's going to get $36 in our Blez Bucks credits. We're going to go 11 times. Good luck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Speaking of Giant Golfer, you win $36 in Blez Bucks.